Hello, everybody. This is Reality Is, and today this is my reality. This is going to be called My Story, The Burden of a Failed System. And I'm not speaking on anybody else's experiences, I'm speaking on my own experiences. Um, 8 years of a long, hard struggle, only to find out, and as history has proved itself, criminals get more rights than the victims. Somebody steal your identity. It is your job and your duty to make sure that you go through the processes and the steps to get it corrected, as well as getting attorneys if it goes to that level to assist you in that process. Well, my story is a mortgage fraud. And it's not always strangers that do the things they do. The ones who get you real good is the ones who actually know you and know your routine and know your history so they can be able to slide in and do what they do. 2006, my parents' property was involved in mortgage fraud from an ex-relative. And in the paperwork, which I found out, and as time progressed, the stories came out, it seems to be my fault. And I take ownership to that, because when you talk to people about certain things, they get to know certain things about you, and then they take that information and they do other things with it. Well, I went to court for 8 years fighting for my parents' property. And uh, different avenues, had to do a list pending because they changed attorney 5 times. And the process was draining, frustrating, irritating, and aggravating. And it consumes your finance. And somebody out there might be able to relate to what I'm talking about. And somebody has experienced this very thing. And a lot of time we don't get solutions to our problem, or the system can't be fixed because we don't bring it to the forefront. And somebody might watch this video who know what I'm talking about and may say she just putting her business in the street, but neither here nor there. When the person did what they did, they put my business in the street. I'm just trying to maintain what my parents fought hard for. And to go into paperwork and to find out that people can get mortgage and it has somebody else's name at the top, and take your signature and drag it at the bottom, and you can become a lender, and the system that is set up to protect us failed tremendously in making sure that what somebody worked hard for is retained. So nobody went to jail. It was a whole group of people that was involved. I got an attorney. I contact various organizations, the Consumer Protection Bureau, the state's attorney, the attorneys general, and nothing transpired in this situation. And so finally, 8 years, well, they finally closed the case in 2012, the end of 2012. And miraculously, it was closed with prejudice, which means that as I learned going through this process, they can't go back and open it. Well, it so happened somebody in the judicial system allowed somebody to put some paperwork in to open the case again. But thank God I had the same judge for the 8 years. And I had to go back through this process again, only to find out that the same judge knew the case, he was familiar with the case, and he allowed the case to go back to where it was. So I'm in the process of getting everything together. And then I get hit with take notice for taxes. Well, they were stealing so fast. The mortgage company was paying the taxes in the mortgage, and I don't know where they stopped. As I did my research after the fact, I find out that they stopped somewhere in 2010. The case started in 2006. The mortgage fraud began in 2005, as I found that out. And so I began to beat the pavement, going to the clerk office downtown, the city treasurers, the recorders of deeds, to see what I can do. Now, meanwhile, 8 years has transpired and all my little funds have dissolved because now you thinking you have fixed one issue and you're stuck with another. So I'm fighting and I'm fighting, I'm fighting. Attorneys lie. They dupe you. The system protect the people who take your money, who steal from you. And I have a problem with that. So I'm calling everybody out. Went to the clerk office in the city of Chicago downtown, the files in archive. Now, come to find out, the systems don't talk to each other. The court system don't talk to the recorders of deeds. Recorder of deeds system don't talk to the city treasurer. Nobody's systems talk to each other. So hence why a lot of people end up losing their property, because I'm sure this is not just in this city, it's across the board that the systems don't talk. So somebody suggests I go to the state's attorney's office. So I had my whole file together, went to the state's attorney's office, and the lady flat out told me there's nothing she can do. But the government closed down Dolphin Mortgage, and that's a public record. So clearly there was some illegal activity going on. Then I went to the state's attorney's office and talked to an attorney, and I had no recourse there. So meanwhile, there are 3 years of taxes that need to be owed. And I'm not saying you don't need to pay your taxes. I'm not saying that. I am saying that you do need to pay your taxes. But when you are blindsided and you try to rectify the problem that's been thrown to you, unbeknownst to you, and you thinking all this is settled in the mortgage fraud case, and then you still stuck with an issue where people are coming to try to take your property, this kind of throws you back for a loop. And I know this video gonna be long, but I'm pretty upset because the city of Chicago sucks. And I want everybody to know it sucks. From City Hall to every government agency there is, they just suck. They collect your money for taxes and water bills. They dig in your personal business. They collect it for city stickers and city plates. And when you have an issue, a legal issue that you need help with, nobody has an answer to the situation. And they allow anybody to come in and do whatever they want to do to you because of a situation that somebody else decided to do that they know that's illegal. And if it was not illegal, then I would not have been in court for 8 years. So I present all the proper documentation, bake sequential order, and every avenue I turn, nobody. You got housing people and recorder of deeds. You got the Department of Revenue who collect the taxes, and you have legal people in that department that don't see what you see. You see what I'm saying? So if it was somebody, the mayor or governor or alderman or state representative, somebody of an important figure, then it would be a real serious issue to address. But no, this is not serious enough, and nobody see what I see. So what you tell me is, it's all right for people to steal and do the crooked stuff that they do, and you don't have no recourse to their actions. You just left out there blindly. And if they take your property, they take your property. And then they're going to take it for cheap and then sell it for an abundance of money. So I'm pissed off. That's what I am. I'm thoroughly pissed off because I have been dealing with this solely by myself, and the legal institution that is supposed to have took the bar and supposed to work and protect the governmental laws that are supposed to serve and protect don't do a hill of beans. They lie. They lie and they lie. So you wonder why we have so many foreclosures. You wonder why the African American and ethnic communities houses, people lose their houses because there is no protection. From the federal government all the way down to the local levels. Nobody is protecting the consumers. They don't. You have people fill out all this documentation and you ask them to send this document in to help you come to a resolution to this problem that somebody else created. And then you tell them, well, ain't nothing we can do. Our hands are tied. You allow it to be so. So these big box companies, they have all this money, just come in and swoop and steal people's property. And it's okay. I'm clearly not happy with this. And I'm so frustrated with the system because my parents worked hard for this property. And for somebody to come along and just take it because the system allowed, without looking at the chain of events that transpired that got to this point, it is not coincidental. People steal people's identity. They break into people's account and they steal their funds. And they lead them in a position where they can't pay their bills. People are committing mortgage fraud. And they're just now, recently, as of the last couple of years, started to cut down on. But it's a job for people. And the system, which we call the justices, which we call fair, is not fair. Why is that? Is it okay? I get a letter today saying we don't find no fault. What the hell you mean you don't find no fault? So the crooks get all the money off the property and they get to live a nice, healthy life. And then the person who has been done to, and now my parents are deceased, and I'm there fighting this battle, and it's okay. I'm not happy with the mayor. I'm not happy with the governor. I'm not happy with my alderman. I'm not happy with no elected official. I'm not happy with David Orr, who signed off on this crap. I'm not happy with Maria Pappas, who allowed this to happen. And you all talk about that you're trying to get a resolution. You're not trying, because you know why you don't want a resolution? It's financial gain for you. But y'all sit on y'all asses and talk about you're broke. You're not broke, because you're stealing from people who works hard, and then you shit on them when an issue occurred and you don't want to even look at what has happened. I'm so pissed off. This is crazy. It is past, it's above and beyond. And believe me, I will not let nobody walk in here and take what my parents work hard for just to take it. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep fighting, and I'm going to let my voice be heard, because I'm sure I'm not the only one. And it breaks my heart, because I know there's elderly people who's dealing with the same thing, and the system pretty much say we don't give a damn. That's where I'm at. So I say this is my story. This is a broken system, and a system that fails at every nook and cranny and turn there is. And that is ridiculous.